What is going on, guys? The other day I was at the dealership checking out a Civic Type R. Recently, after the 2020 news came out, I think it was a car that I was pretty interested in. So I went to the dealership, I checked it out. Immediately after I stepped foot into the Civic, there were some creature comforts from the Golf R that I instantaneously started to miss. And I just went ahead and since I had my phone with me, excuse the quality, but I had my Pixel 2, decided to just go ahead and start recording. And I ended up recording the differences of what the Type R offers versus what the Golf R offers. So here's a video letting you guys know if you want to jump from the Golf R to the Type R or Type R to Golf R, vice versa, what you will be expecting. Hope you enjoy. Here goes. As we start with this comparison, let's talk about the most obvious, which is the 6-speed manual transmission offered in the Type R versus the 6-speed automatic or DSG offered in the Golf R. Both cars offer an electronic e-brake, but right from the start I was highly impressed with the center sliding console in the Civic. There's a ton of usable storage space that I think my car lacks. The armrest is slightly padded, it's wrapped in Alcantara, but one feature that it does not offer is a height adjustable armrest, which I think is good for longer road trips. Moving towards the center console, there's a volume button that seems to be pretty decent quality, but prior to 2019 there's a volume button that was missing, so this is actually a really big deal for the Type R. Both cars lack a locking glove box, but the Volkswagen offers a felt lined interior to dampen the noises. And here are the seats. These are my most favorite feature of the Type R. Not only does it offer comfort, the bright red I think offers great contrasting within the interior. For my car, I think it's a little bit too boring. It's too dark, no contrast. But what I find boring, others might consider a refined interior. As we talk about the rearview mirror, obviously it's not auto dimming. That's a feature in my Golf R that I love as well. But the map lighting, it's incandescent compared to LEDs in the Golf R, as well as the vanity lights. So it depends on the driver. If they want a warmer type of lighting, then this should be okay, but as for me, I want a modern, cleaner look, so I would like the LED. The Type R offers a two-toned red-black steering wheel with red contrast stitching. I like it, I just think it needs a flatter bottom design. The problem I have is the buttons. I think it needs a remapping. The buttons are too crammed together, and I just don't like the clickiness of it. So I prefer the buttons found in the Golf R. I like how Honda numbers every Type R that they make, something that the Golf R should have done or Volkswagen should have kept from the R32, keeping it more exclusive, but at this point it's kind of too late for that. But let's talk about these seats. These seats are way too comfortable. They're really supportive. Bolsters are extremely high, but I would like to I'm interested in seeing how long these bolsters will hold up long term. I feel like I would have to adopt a new way of getting in and out of the car. Same way for the passengers, however it's difficult for them to mimic my style every time. The armrest padding on the door is also Alcantara. However, the difference in quality really shows around the window trim area. I think the buttons are way too plastic feeling, especially the door handle. But I was in the Honda Accord Sport, and the difference in window switches, just the difference in quality, the steering wheel input, the buttons, is a lot more high quality, which I don't really understand because Type R $35,000, Honda Accord Sport $25K, same engine, just detuned. So what I'm trying to say is it would have been nice if Honda had offered the same little touches from the Accord down to the Type R, especially with this price point. Either way, both the Type R and the Golf R offers a soft touch dashboard. Both companies offer a black headliner for a much more cleaner look. So moving on to the rear seating, the upper portion of the door is going to be plastic, hollow sounding when you tap on it, but it's something that I expected anyway from both companies. This is actually where both companies will go ahead and consider cost efficiency for both vehicles. But there's a ton of room in the back for the Civic, seating for only 2 passengers, however, so each seat is padded for comfort, but however, I think the cloth material here is quite cheap. For the money, why not include the Civic hatchback seating where it's half cloth, half leather. Here, as we move to the exterior of the vehicle, you see the factory side skirts, 20-inch rims with really low profile tires, but I think I like the fact that Honda is so quote-unquote obnoxious with their styling. I'm a big fan. I think the Golf or Volkswagen should do the same thing with the R to have the looks match the performance numbers. To open up the hatch, the trunk release is located under the JDM Honda badging, which is also where it houses the backup camera. So I do prefer the backup camera found in my Golf because it's discreet, it's hidden, and most importantly, during rain or snow, it keeps the backup camera clean and clear while you're backing up. But looking at this trunk size, the Civic definitely has a much more bigger storage compared to the R. It's just massive. But then again, it is 10 inches longer than the Golf R. I think this retractable privacy cover is genius. The material is really thin in nature, so not quite sure how it is gonna be long term. There's trunk lighting. It's incandescent, not LED. For both cars, the Type R and the Golf R, they do not offer a spare tire. What they do offer is a tire pressure inflator. I'm guessing just to go ahead and, in reality, it's cost saving, but I guess it's just to save weight. But for the Type R, one thing that I find really disappointing is a lack of a center pass-through. So not only is it missing a rear third seating in the middle, it's also missing that center pass-through that I have come to be accustomed to, from the Golf R. But overall, both have integrated handles for you to close the hatch. Now, I was speaking with a friend who happens to own a Type R, and in our conversation, he stated that, hey, in the end, this car is still based off a Civic, and for the driving experience that this car delivers in return, it's solid for the money. And I would have to agree with him, but to a point. I've owned 2 Hondas in the past, and yes, the nitpicky things such as the button quality or the choice of materials that they chose to skimp out on is something that needs to be addressed as a con. However, what JDM products usually lack in terms of interior quality, they oftentimes make up for with a rarity of an engine, with a joy to drive, high revving, bulletproof transmission, suspension tuned cars. And this is the same story with the Type R. And looking at this point of view again, I really do enjoy the red pinstriping, especially the fact that I think that my Golf R is a little bit too bland in the end. So this pinstriping actually offers a lot of characteristics that I was striving for in my own personal vehicle. And the good news is, this comes from factory. Having said all that, I think for the price of the vehicle at MSRP, I would have to state again that material should be on par with the Accord Sport, or at least the Civic hatchback Sport, where they offer, higher premium seating in the rear. But what really strikes me in terms of the rear seating, not only with the missing middle seat, is the fact that they're missing AC or heating control through the center pass-through for almost a $40,000 vehicle. Now, if this video comes off as being too harsh or biased towards the Type R, I am really not. I'm simply speaking my thoughts coming from a Golf R owner and what I expected coming from a Golf transitioning into a Type R, and the initial thoughts of what's pro and cons. In fact, when it comes down to it, I think the Type R has a pretty good interior compared to most of its competition. For example, the Focus RS, Veloster N, the WRX, especially the Evo if they were still around, because interior is so Spartan. And in addition, everything surrounding the driver is ergonomically placed. They make a great use of space, modern dash, CarPlay, auto rev matching, the most comfortable seats. Unfortunately, the Civic model for 2019 does not offer LED turn signal indicators, but don't worry, they're coming in 2020. And for the record, I have not even touched up on the performance and handling aspects of the car, which is where the Type R shines. Now, to end the video, Honda is set to release the 2020 Type R and charging an additional $700 for the MSRP. With this increase in price, the features they are packing in should be worth the money, especially with Honda sensing. This will put the Type R on par with the Golf R option-wise, besides all-wheel drive, so stay tuned. As always, thanks for watching. Take care.